that. Action for your conference meeting exhibitional function, Win Entertainment Centre, a unique conference and meeting venue with multiple function and exhibition spaces, with superb catering providing restaurant quality food in venue, state-of-the-art audio-visual and technical facilities, in a city centre location on the beach in the city, with a variety of accommodation and hotels close by. Holding your conference at the Win Entertainment Centre can be a dream come true. So whether you're with us for 12 or 2,000 people, contact us to bring your meeting to life.
It makes sense to sponsor the National Basketball League. After all, we've so much in common.
We both wear uniforms.
We've both got teams across Australia.
We both draw big crowds. Don't forget to mention the baskets.
The baskets. We've both got a lot to celebrate.
And we both have passion for what we do.
Chemist Warehouse in the NBL. Proud to be on the same team.
At People Care, we live by 4 people wise, so we love being a members-owned health fund. It's all about you. We're run for our members, not investors. We make it personal. You'll never be treated as a number. We do it better. Our members are happier and stay longer. We give more back. Members-owned health funds give more back in benefits than Medibank, AHM, NIB and VEQTA combined. People Care. Health cover full on top.
Presents the Banner of the Young Songbook, a tribute to two of the most extraordinary songwriters of our time, featuring the biggest hits for the Easy Beats, AC/DC, Stevie Wright, J.D. Wise, Chuck Thomas, and so many more. Live in concert with the All-Star Band, Saturday, November 19th, with Entertainment Centre Wollongong. These are the songs that gave Australia its unique sound through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. John Paul Young's The Banner of the Young Songbook.
And I'm so
Tonight's game brought to you by Destination Wollongong. Don't forget to check out visitwollongong.com.au for everything happening in around Wollongong, including the upcoming Beats and Eats Festival at Stewart Park. The Illawarra Hawks are proud to have Molly Civil Rail and Southern Cross Civil Rail training as the principal partners for the season. All right, Hawks, it's not long to tip off. Let's start getting some noise. Tonight's game, the Illawarra Hawks taking on the Sydney Kings.
He's going to be one of the best at this league scene. I said that when he first came out, and all these years later, he's two-time MVP, and you know, he was probably going to be our franchise player, but unfortunately, he's moved on to bigger and better things for him.
Kevin is just an absolute professional in the way he conducts himself both on and off the floor. In his DNA, it's all about leadership and setting examples. It's a delight to have him, a privilege to be able to coach someone of that skill.
Losing Lish to Sydney hurt me personally, and it hurt our club. Big brother up the road, as they like to think they are, and that makes it probably a little bit more motivating for me to make sure that when we play Sydney that there's going to be a little bit more in it. And I think the same with all the guys that have played with Lish as well. I think that they're looking forward to it.
He's an ice cool assassin. He used to be a Hawk. Now he's a Sydney King, returning for the first time to the Sandpit to take on the club that he helped to the playoffs just last season. Kevin Lish, the two-time NBL MVP, back in Wollongong tonight, and so are we to kick off round 2 of this new NBL season. Hi everybody, Warren Smith and Brad Rosen to take you through all the action tonight. What a game to kick off round 2. You as a former Sydney King know what the rivalry is like between these two clubs. It doesn't get much better than this.
It doesn't matter what time of the year it is, where you've won, where you've lost, what you are on the ladder. You chalk these ones up in the calendar. It'll be a beauty. You love the crosstown rivalry. You can't wait for them.
Let's take a look at the ladder after week 1 to see how it sits. Setting this one up tonight between the Hawks and the King. The Hawks were dynamic last week, that massive win over the Adelaide 36ers. The Kings went down narrowly to the Brisbane Bullets. We'll see how they fare tonight on the road for the first time. Their record last year on the road, it was atrocious. They'll need to be better than that in this new season. This weekend, this is what we've got coming up for you. It begins tonight here with the Hawks and the Kings. 36ers up against United again after they played in week 1. They'll also play against the Bullets to round it out on Sunday afternoon. The Hawks here at home, let's take a look at their starting 5 tonight. It's a very different looking lineup to what they had last year. There's no Kevin Lish, there's no Kirk Penny, but Rob Beveridge has unearthed some beauties once again.
Well, they did. You start there with Mitch Norton in the backcourt. Rodney Clark, former MVP of the league. Marvell Harris, he was amazing last week. He'll round out the 3. Nicholas Kay coming from Townsville, Rookie of the Year, and they rounded out with AJ Ogilvie.
That's how they line up the Kings last week. Are going with the same starting 5 they used. Josh Powell coming off the bench, a 2-time NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll see him in the NBL for the first time here live on Fox Sports. Lish and Kadee, the starting guards. Brad Newley back in the NBL after a decade in Europe. Greg Whittington is one of the 3 imports that each team has allowed this year. And Alex Marich, of course, the big man, under the boards, banging the big bodies here tonight for the Sydney Kings against the Hawks. I can't wait for this one. Marvell Harris, he was a marvel last week for the Illawarra Hawks. He scored 21. Let's take a look at some of his best action.
Marvell Harris, he's just a flat-out player.
Open court. He'll go all the way. Nice strong move. Harris. Joey Wright wanted to travel. Basket by Rodney Clark.
I think he's a triple-double waiting to happen.
Two. 1-2. There we go.
All right, Hawks fans, enough to do. We're going to get on our feet.
We're at the Sandpit to kick it off round 2 of the NBL. Warren Smith and Brad Rosen to bring you all the action of this one. Marvell Harris, one of the great new imports for the Illawarra Hawks, and Rob Beveridge, one of the more successful coaches in the NBL, has picked up from where he left off last year. Terrific column that he wrote in the local Illawarra Mercury before this game, Brad, talking about how you just, when you play for the Hawks, you play for Rob Beveridge, you have to leave your ego at the door. I think that was evident last week up against Andrew Gaze in a coaching battle tonight. Andrew in game number 2 of his NBL coaching career. Started with a loss last week. He'll want to see his team improve dramatically on the boards here tonight.
Well, they have to, and that's what they brought Josh Powell in. Don't forget that Julian Kazoo is not in the team as well, so Brisbane had their way with them on the offensive glass, so that's something they need to address. I also thought their energy needed to be picked up as well, and that man needs to lead them from the front. He was great last week, had 20 points. I really like the way Brad Newley was playing in that first half as well, but they need to get stops. They need to get it done on the defensive end. For the Hawks, well, they're just got to do more of the same, was.
Well, as per usual, everybody on their feet here at the Sandpit. And they'll remain that way until the opposition score. And last week, it looked as though that might have taken half an hour plus the way they started against the 36ers. Now we're out of the blocks in a hurry. We have a false start. AJ Ogilvy up against Greg Whittington to get this one underway. The boys were primed and poised for action. And the referee said, hang on a second, we've got an issue on the scoring desk. And it looks like we have a further issue.
IRF, there's no feed to the video review. Currently no feed. It's not coming through, so it's good.
Apparently it's all right now.
The IRS isn't the Internal Revenue Service.
It wasn't. It didn't have a feed, but now it does.
Don't mention taxes, whatever you do. Here's the Hawks and the Kings to kick it off in round 2 of the NBL. In this 2016-17 season, Kevin Lish.
Listen to the crowd.
And if we were wondering what sort of reception he was going to get, it was always going to be interesting. Well, right off the bat, first touch and the boos ring out around the Sandpit for their former hero. Here he is again, double-teamed early on. He escapes that, Newley over the top to Marriage, trying to close it down. Kay did well, and the Hawks get a stop on the Kings' first possession. Norton fishing it off for Kay. They'll work it around the perimeter. Clark going up against Cadee. Some speed there, and he lofts one over the top, banks it for 2 off the glass.
Well, that's not the start the Sydney Kings wanted. Number one, it wasn't a great shot after some good defence by Illawarra. And then when you reverse it the other end, some pretty poor defence allowing a penetration and a layup.
Here's Cadee using his speed, little finger roll. It's good. The crowd will take a seat. And we're level at 2 early here in the first quarter at the Sandpit. Clark, former NBL MVP, back Australian shores this season. A drive to the glass. It doesn't go there for Norton. Whittington will bring it away for Sydney. And an early inbound ball for Marriage doesn't find the target. Ogilvy there to take the intercept. And then Harris gets rid of Newley and knocks down a 3.
There's been a lot of talk about him during the week and how great he was last week. But Newley, and they'll call that a charge and a no basket. I'd love to see the replay of that. Let's try and get that again. That looked like he was moving. It was a good take by Newley.
Just like last week, the Hawks jump out of the gates. And then here is Newley again, going towards Ogilvy. Well, Ogilvy was going sideways.
Definitely going left. That's a tough call.
Now a break early on. You can get them at home. As Cadee almost strips it away from Ogilvy there. Norton goes up against Marriage, has him burnt for speed. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, this was the Achilles heel for Sydney last week against Brisbane, and it was allowing the penetration. So that's 3 shots now that Illawarra have had, and all going towards the basket. The 2 keys that they have to have here, Sydney, is number 1, guard the man, and number 2, help side defence, which was non-apparent last week.
Look of concern there on the face of Andrew Gaze, talking to Leonard Copeland and Dean Vickerman. It's quite the brains trust they've employed for this new season. Look after things for the Kings, and we saw that look a bit last week from Drewy, didn't we?
I could just watch him all game. I love Drewy's animation. It's great. He rides every play just like he did as a player.
Some pressure up the court again. Rob Beveridge likes to use that at times. Whittington behind the back dribble against Harris. He'll draw a foul and give the American a chance to go to the stripe. Couple of minutes gone. Illawarra in front. They blitzed Adelaide early here last week. But incredibly, it was the 36ers who took a narrow lead to the break, but it was all the Hawks in the second half as they laid on 122 points, if you don't mind. The highest score total from a team since we went to 40 minutes in NBL games in 2010.
Well, that was good aggression by Whittington. He only had 6 points last week, 2 of 6 from the field, played 24 minutes, so he needs to be more aggressive tonight, and that was a good start.
Clark guarded by Lish. Norton on the wing, guarded by Kadee, and now Kay left hand. It won't fall. No luck there for the former Townsville crop. Both Kay and Norton joining the Hawks from Townsville. And a foul under the basket.
Great move by Marriage. He ran what we call rim to rim. As soon as they got the rebound, he jolted straight down, put himself under the rim. Newley did a great job as Marriage sealed underneath the basket and got the ball back. Great job.
Kadee tended to pass the ball to Whittington. Whittington wasn't even looking at it, let alone be ready for it. And then Lish. Difficult ball there for Kadee to handle. Kadee got it to Marriage. It won't go. And the Kings looking out of rhythm on that particular offensive set. Ogilvy short. No. Off the front of the basket, off the glass and in. Things are happening early on for the Hawks. But you get used to that when you come to the Sandpit. Here's Lish again. Passing right across the court to Kadee. 3 points, it goes.
Great pass, Kevin Lish. He had 2 men on him. He found the open man, and Jason Kadee doing what he does best, hits the 3.
Al Ogilvy inside the 3-point line. Can't get that one to go from long range. And Lish, I wonder how long they'll boo him for.
About 40 minutes, I'm thinking. And that's 40 minutes game time.
Newly driving to the basket. It won't count.
No, they've called a moving foul there on Marriage.
Little screen that he was setting, but he was in motion.
Yeah, and Andrew Gaze was not happy about that, but that'll bring out Josh Powell. And this is something we're very much looking forward. Here's the screen here, you'll see him. Oh. I guess technically he was moving, but that's a pretty soft call.
Perhaps a couple of tough ones early on. Julian Kazoo there on the right of screen, still waiting to come back from injury. Right here last year, suffered a tear of the quadricep just above the knee.
That should count. It hit the backboard, and then Powell's gone up and hit it after it's hit the glass. And they have counted it, and that's the correct call.
Josh Powell on court for the Sydney Kings, getting a chance to take over from Alex Marriage, who given a breather for the moment. Can't wait to see what Josh Powell can do. 33 years of age, and as we said in the preview, 2-time NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers wearing purple and gold again. The Sydney Kings this time as Lish guarded there dramatically. Norton coming out trying to get a stop, managed to do that. The pass for Whittington from Newley was touched.
Just the energy of the defense from Illawarra is great. They're pushing the Sydney Kings out and past the 3-point line. Makes a very big difference when you're trying to guard your man, because now the Kings have to put it on the floor. See how they're 2 steps out?
Oh, pass from Kadee. Goes straight to Norton instead. Kadee did well, hustling back on defense. Now Clark tries to drive past Kadee, dishes to Ogilvy. That one too long. And the Kings get a real break there, and to compound it, Mitch Norton is going to go from the court. He might have torn a hamstring.
It looks like his right hamstring on that layout there, and he is limping off. He's not good at all. Holding that right hamstring, as you can see, he'll go into the locker, and they'll have a look at that. And you'd suggest that we won't see him again tonight. But this is the beauty of Illawarra and their depth. That'll just bring the very experienced Reece Martin out.
Well, something that Rob Beveridge spoke about during the lead-up to this game, the fact that the starters might be the blokes who are on the court to begin the game, but it is very much an 11-man team the Hawks will try and employ They're down one now with Norton out of the game with a hamstring injury. Wait and see how important that is by the time we get to full time here tonight. A little foul there from the Kings. Let's take a look at this again. Norton going to the basket, fell awkwardly and crashed into the Marcus Thornton Memorial box.
You can see him grabbing his right hamstring there. Sorry, was you got me a beauty, the beer pouring over him. But yeah, he definitely tweaked that. And that's a hard injury too. That really hurts. Rodney Clark doing what he does well, getting to the free throw line. Last week he was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Just finds a way to score. Had 23 points last week to go with 6 assists.
It's 12-6. Midway through this opening quarter here at the Sandpit. Kicking off a very big round 2 in this NBL season. Lish driving against Reese Martin, and Harris forced him back. Weddington! And they enjoyed that on the Kings bench. Everybody up as well as he stuffed that one. Clark getting past Kadee. Stopped by Powell. They'll work it around through Cody Ellis. Martin will behind the back dribble. Now Harris gets the screen from Ogilvy. Pulls up the free throw line. Short on the shot. New shot clock. Clark immediately inside to Ogilvy. Second attempt is good.
Well, it's the second efforts. That offensive ball that they gave up, that just allowed the mismatch, and Ogilvy, as a beautiful move there, unfortunately miss, and Ogilvy put it back in.
Newley with a layup, couldn't get it to work, and then Clark got away with perhaps a little extra step on his way to the basket. He thought he was going to travel, somehow got it away just in time.
Well, the Kings just look tentative offense. You look at what they're doing, they're holding the ball for 2 and 3 seconds. That'll be a foul on Rodney Clark, but all they've really got at the moment is an on-ball, and they go and set that on-ball, and then they try and play off it. Great defense by Illawarra in these first few minutes that has pushed Sydney completely out of their offense.
4:07 remaining in this opening quarter, as the Kings trailing by 8. The Hawks looking to make it a 2-0 beginning to this new season.
Whittington's popping here. All right, I want this guy to rotate onto Whittington. It's twice he's got inside. So blue the side. We have to make sure we rotate on that. We're aggressively on it. Whoever the guard is.
To Rob Beveridge.
Yeah, what he's saying there. Yeah, what he's saying there was he's worried about Whittington as he is setting the screen on Kevin Lish.
Let's hear what the coach had to say about one of his new imports, Rodney Clark.
Right now.
Yeah, obviously when we lost Lish, it was like, okay, what do we do? And Rodney was available, so we reached out to him straight away, and he was pretty excited about it because he loved his time in Australia, particularly in Wollongong. He's a different player to Lish, but he can light it up. You know, he's going to give us a fair bit of perimeter shooting there, which we need, because when you lose 2 great shooters in Penny and Lish, I needed that. Fan favourite, he was the MVP when he was here, so that was a massive signing for us.
Certainly was. And they haven't missed a beat so far. Clark playing his role for Rob Beveridge in place of this man, Kevin Lish, who's now a King. Misses from 3-point range. Martin with a long rebound, loses the handle. Lish a chance to go on the attack. 3-on-1. Newley takes it to the basket and draws a foul.
I was saying at the beginning of the game, Newley looked great last week when he was in the open court. He is so strong the way he takes the ball to the basket, and that time he got a 3-point play. That's the best way he plays basketball, but for him to get that, the Kings have to play defense. You look at it here, he looked up and then he just goes strong. Gets the tap on the head for the 3-point play. He is amazing in the open court, but the Kings need to play the defense to get to his strengths.
9 points on 4 of 12 shooting for Brad Newley last week. And that loss to Brisbane. Kudos Bank Arena, here he is with a steal, giving it to Kadee. Chance for a 3. Whittington does well to regather, then Martin takes another steal or an intercept, if you like, from Newley. A couple of times now, the Kings have turned it over pretty easily in that situation. And now Lish brings it down. Kadee, the three-point king from the pre-season.
Great pass for Lish. He was just summing it up what he wanted to do. Powell ran straight to the rim, but great work. Again, it comes from stops. When they get stops, they look good in the open court.
Tim Conrad on court, as is this man, Michael Holyfield, up against Josh Powell, two very large men in the paint from outside. Conrad can't get it to go, and Lish will bring it across mid-court once again. Whittington just got a shoulder charge. Conrad having nothing to do with him going to the hoop.
Well, in that last play, we noticed something straight away. Josh Powell is a beast down low. Holyfield tried to post up, tried to get movement, but Powell just did not let him budge. That man right there has got some serious strength. He looked great out there and just gives them a presence inside that they didn't have against Brisbane.
Chance here for the Kings to level it up. Again, Whittington can't get the first of two. The Kings know the gravity of the situation they're in tonight, coming here to the Sandpit. The Hawks have won 11 of their past 12. The only loss in that time was a 7-point loss to Melbourne in round 18 last year. It's a 1-point lead. Here's Kevin White. To the hands of Ellis. Away to Conrad. Comes back to White, goes inside to the real deal. Holyfield. And spinning, he draws a foul from Josh Powell.
Again, these two going at it down low. Holyfield gets the post up. We see it here. The two big men banging down low. Shows his elbow. And that's called for two.
It's a physical league, and the imports sometimes coming to the NBL can be a little shocked at how physical it can be held here in Australia. These three men, Gaze, Vickerman, Copeland, they know exactly what it's like. Holyfield with the second of the two, 17-15. Change for Sydney Kings. Michael Bryson is out there. Another turnover, but Bryson saves the day. Garlett keeps it inbounds. And the Kings save their blushes with a bit of hustle again on defense. And at times, getting it to this end of the court has been an issue for them. Kadee is suddenly, he's got the radar working.
Yeah, he's got 10 points, 3 or 4 shooting. That's what they needed. He had an outstanding preseason. A little bit quiet last week, but he's come out this quarter looking great.
Here's Ellis, left hand off the glass. Holyfield, big rebound. The Kings give up another one off the boards. Conrad was there. Quick outlet. Garland up against Ellis, did well, and then the ball tipped off the glass.
Correct.
It'll
call.
count for 2.
Yeah, correct call. Good work by Tommy Garland. That was not an easy catch, and then he spun straight to the centre, got it off the glass. You don't mind those when you're a coach. Just no easy baskets. Look at Bryson get upstairs on that. That's a beautiful time block. He'd be very happy with that after turning it over.
Now the Hawks almost return the favour. Ellis short on his three-point shot. Another board, this time for Conrad. And the Kings getting blitzed again off the glass.
Yeah, that's a bad block out there from Brad Newley. You look at him there, he put his hand up. He just knew he missed Conrad there. He just needs to take care of that downstairs and make sure that he's boxing out.
It's 12-7 as far as rebounds go, with 8.5 gone in the game. Jeremy Hill will check in. It's going to be Josh Powell who'll take a seat for the moment. Understandably, still finding his legs. Only arrived in the country a couple of days ago. Was doubtful whether he was going to play today, but that was confirmed this afternoon by the Sydney Kings. We'll see him on his home court.
Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was great. He showed good minutes there. 2 fouls, I know, and that's been a problem for the Kings. Marriage, he's got 2 fouls. Now is when they go small, and this is where it's hurt them. Jerome Hill was great on Saturday night, but they gave up a lot of offensive glass. So when you got Tommy Garland and Hill, they've got to box out.
Here's Newley. On the quick outlet once again, driving up against Ellis, draws another foul.
We saw this last week at Illawarra. Mitch Creek, he was great in the open court. Brad Newley showing his strength on how he does that. Gets his body and puts it up nicely.
Ellis will sit down for the moment. You see Newley going past Conrad, then moving Ellis. Contact on Newley. He was appealing, but got no joy from the referees. And Newley makes it a 2-point lead for the Sydney Kings. After being down 16-8, they've gone on a 14-points-to-4 run. Take this lead. Here is White. Martin through Foreman. It goes to Conrad. Double team for a moment. Foreman kicks it back out from Martin. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Conrad, quick ball to the corner. Foreman for three. It won't go. Hill comes away with the rebound. And here is Bryson, a chance to stop and set up. Now he does. Can't find the range. Holyfield comes up with it.
He had Kevin Lish wide open at the top there. I know he can shoot that, but that's, you want to get that to your superstar and get him going. He hasn't scored tonight. That should have gone to Lish.
Now with both teams in the penalty, it's going to be the Hawks going to the line again with some contact down in the low post.
Yellow.
Andrew Gase working the sideline with his heart on his sleeve. Chance for Holyfield, who misses on the first of two. They've been off tonight with their shooting.
Yeah, Holyfield coming out of Sam Houston State University. Had a bit of foul trouble early last week, but came back strong to finish with 14 points. Just dominant with his bigness around the ring.
Now almost another turnover by the Kings. They lead by one with just on 30 seconds remaining. Holyfield parachutes past Hill. His shot was short, and the Hawks can bring it down and just about use up the remaining time in this opening quarter. See how long they run it down for. Foreman just outside the arc. It's good.
Oscar Foreman, he has made a living of that. He is unbelievable, and there's just not enough time that you can get to that. You've just got to get early. He's so good.
Newley from long range as well. Air ball, Garlick coming in. Doesn't get there in time. Get another shot away. And at the break, it's the Hawks who have a narrow lead, 23-22, here at the Sandpit, the NBL, live on Fox Sports.
It's the dice game. Chuck the dice. 3, all right. You've got 3 shots to make 1 3-pointer to go home with a huge prize. Go down. Get behind Rob. He's got 3 shots for 1 to make. Come on, Hawks fans. Oh, a bit of rhythm. Not bad, Rob. Let's see what you got. Come on, 2 shots for 1. All right, get off. Big round of applause for Rob. He's won our prize, Destination Wollongong. Too easy. He should be shooting from halfway next week. I reckon that. We got nothing. Just reminding you, at 3-quarter time, someone's shooting for $1,000 cash. Battle of the sexes in the house. Husband versus wife. For $1,000, Macca's Illawarra, 3-quarter time. Make sure you hang around for that one. Just reminding you, our next home game is the 28th this month. Make sure you grab your tickets early and follow it up straight away on the 30th. The 28th and the 30th, the guys are on the road for 3 games. Make sure you check out the Hawks website, find out all the action and how to watch the game. Hawks.com.au.
What a battle we have. Live from the Sandpit, the Hawks up against the Kings. There's only a point in it at quarter time. Illawarra 23, Sydney 22. And the Kings looking for a rare victory on the road. In fact, they had the equal worst record in the league last year with 1 win and 13 losses.
It goes back further, they've only won the last 17 games, they've won 1. 16 out of 17 they've lost on the road, so they need to change things around. They also need to get out to Oscar Foreman, who hit that 3. He has hit 825 threes in his career.
Nice stat.
Yeah. At 41%, I should say, too.
Good, Tiny.
The Hawks have a habit of notching up 3 figures in games here at the Sandpit. Not quite on track at the moment, but not far off. 23-22, second quarter underway as Martin works up against Bryson. The screen from Ogilvie goes to Jeremy Hill, and then inlet ball goes to Ogilvie. Can't get it to work, and the Kings will bring it down the court with a chance to regain the lead. Hill, nice spin move, a mismatch there. Hill against Martin, and he made him pay.
Great move down low. He did this against Brisbane last Saturday night as well, really making effort on the offensive end. It was great. Just for an update on Mitch Norton, he has still not returned. He is inside getting assessed, but that hamstring looks like it is pretty bad, and we will more than likely not see him again tonight.
Soft foul to give away for the Kings early on here. On the possession, Ogilvie driving, can't come up with it. Battles against Kevin Lish. One a former Hawk, one a current Hawk, and what a battle it was between the big man and the smaller man.
Well, you just love the aggression from both members. Look, they just all wanted the ball. They got up, they looked at each other and said, well done, it's a jump ball, but the possession arrow goes with Sydney.
Tommy Gallup inbounds it, and Brad Neely bring it down court with the help of Kevin Lish. Bryson on the wing on that left side of the court for Sydney, trying to find his three-point range. Hasn't done that so far through a game and a quarter, but Brad Neely reminding everybody of what an offensive threat he is.
Well, you're right there, Wazzy. It is a good move, but they are getting nothing in the offensive end. It is pass. There was 9 seconds left on the clock there, and then Newley just had to put his head down and take off. Sydney really need to get their offensive clicking, whether that's moving the ball or getting an on ball. But right now, they're just playing right in the hands of the Hawks.
That's Bryson. From well outside the arc, still can't find his range. The Hawks come up with it. Chance to regain the lead as Martin. Nice move on Gallup, then gives it to Ogilvie!
Well, that's just a beautiful move by Reece Martin. He just made Ogilvie easy, put it on the dish for him, and he just threw it down. Great job, Reece Martin.
What a move by the General. What a ball handler he is, as is his former partner in crime in Kevin Lish, who was fouled here by White.
Well, again, Rob Beveridge will not be upset at that. Kevin White gets the foul there, but he will just love the fact that he is all over that man there, Kevin Lish. They don't want anything easy. Rob, of course, mentioned in the opener how disappointed he was to go up the road, so he certainly wants to get a win in his first try.
Lish from the corner. The crowd enjoyed that, not falling. Here is Harris. It's a one-point game as White bounced pass for Ogilvie. Off the glass this time, but the biggest man on court.
Well, it's just terrible defence was. The on-ball screen, a guy allowed to slip. They did that a couple of times on Saturday night. There's no weak side help whatsoever. This is going to get very ugly very quickly if the Kings can't fix this up.
Now Garlett working against Foreman. Lost it. Might have been a little help there from Oscar Foreman. White and Martin with him, and now Ogilvy. He goes the bounce pass routes. Foreman can't get it to go. Ogilvy's there again. Almost came up with the rebound. Lish. Here's the boos ring out once again here at the Sandpit. And Jason Cadee wants to just calm things down and set up an offense. It's a screen from Marriage. Garlett from outside. Marriage is there with the rebound and Newley following in. Heads up play.
Well, you can see these two are very good mates off the court, and you can see how good they are on the court. They have both passed to each other very well for easy baskets. They really have a nice rapport.
Here's Foreman again from outside. Too long on this shot. Lish comes away with it. He goes to Harris, gives it off to Newley, the hot man on court. Cadee. Another three for Jason Cadee. Sydney 29, the Hawks 27. Harris, a swinging bank shot. It'll work, and we're locked up. What a game this is.
It is. Sydney just got a couple of stops there, and it was very good, and a nice pass here. That a beautiful offense down the other end.
Marriage had to put it on the floor as he got Kevin White coming across from the weak side to help out defensively for the Hawks. And as a result of having to put it on the floor, Marriage couldn't hang on to it. The Kings will get it from the baseline here with 14 seconds on the clock. Changes to the personnel on court for Rob Beveridge. Rodney Clark coming back on. Tim Conrad also there. Can't stop Kevin Lish, who is at long last on the board.
And a nice cheapy one for him as well. He just needed that to settle.
Ogilvy's pass might have come off the head of Tim Conrad. It might have been a falcon from point blank range. Lovely pass though from Harris. It went to Nicholas Kay, and he locked it up again at 31. Here's Whittington trying to find Jason Cadee on the cut underneath the hoop. Kay comes away with it. Lish stopping his progress. Handed off to Harris, goes back inside to Kay. Ogilvy takes up the spot underneath the basket. Conrad finds some space on the other side of the court. Big rebound by Rodney Clark. Smallest man on the court gets a board, and that has Andrew Gaze frothing at the mouth.
Well, so it should. It's just effort. That's all that basket did. Complete effort on the glass.
Rodney Clark coming up with a big rebound in the paints.
And there's Mitch Norton. You'll just see he's got cut on his right leg there. You'll see just some ice. There's no question he's gone for the game, and they'll assess him over the weekend or tomorrow and see if he can fit up again or what extent that injury is.
Here's Cadee again, three-point shot, nothing but net.
Wow, he's having a game already. That's 16 points he's got, 4 of 4 from the three-point line, 6 of 7 from the field is a great backdoor.
Harris slashes to the hoop, and he puts the Hawks back in front of 35-34, midway through this second quarter, and a timeout called by the Sydney Kings. Let's take a look at some of the action from Rodney Clark so far as we approach half-time. 10 points for the game, 4 of 4 from the floor is Clark. And that was a massive rebound he came up with that had Andrew Gaze clutching at his greying hair. Speed to the hoop. He's a multi-talented threat for the Illawarra Hawks. you're looking for a replacement for Kevin Lish, well, he's as good as you can get.
You won't get any better. He was great the year that he had. The Hawks came running home in that playoff run under Gordy McLeod, and what a great job they did.
Run it first, gets. Hey, next time, this time down the floor. Inversion. Encourage the overplay, throw it here, back cut.
Do have to give some credit to the Sydney Kings. There were stages there where they were just not running much on offense. They weren't really defending well, but they've hung in. They've got some stops. I think Brad Newley's got out in the open. Jason Kadee, he is shooting the lights out. So you've got to give this team credit. They're hanging in, and that's what you want to do right now. They've done a good job these last few minutes.
Well, Andrew Gaze, full rep there, and the timeout for the Sydney Kings, despite the issues that he would see with his team at the moment. Here they are, only trailing by a point. Marriage.
Straight, boys, straight.
Marriage provides a little screen, and then Harris trying to push his way through the screen, as you heard the referee say. There'll be a foul against the import for the Illawarra Hawks.
Right now, with 4 minutes and 33 seconds left, the Hawks have 4 team fouls to the Kings 1. They need to get this on the floor, get to the rim, and cause those fouls to get some nice, easy free throws.
Set it. Let go, let go. Straight, boys, straight.
Nearly goes inside to Marriage, left-handed hook. Way too big, working against Nicholas Kay. Didn't even touch the rim as it turned out, and Clark against Kadee. Here's Harris. Lish did well to work around the back of Ogilvy, and then Whittington, with those long arms, was able to reel it in, gives it to Marriage. He lost it to Kane, though. Off Kane. It'll be the Kings who retain possession.
Great defense, great push. Waited for the defense to come to him, passed it off. Unfortunately, it sipped out of Marriage hand as he gets subbed out. Look at this. Just waits for the defense to make the commitment. Great pass. Should have done better and put that in, but they will get the ball back.
Josh Powell checking back in for Alex Marriage, taking a breather at the moment.
The good thing there was, is just to be able to say that he's still got 2 fouls. Thankfully, he didn't get any fouls that quarter or that time that he was on the court. So that's well done on him, so they can use him later in the game when they need him.
So there was no reset on
Just checking the situation with the shot clock. Sydney didn't get a shot away. Ball out of bounds off the Hawks. It should stay as it was at the moment. The shot clock staying 14. Perhaps an accidental reset there.
Yeah, I think it was. They're just having a look to see what the actual clock was when it went out of bounds, because it was, you 100% it didn't touch the ring. There was no shot, so it should just be there.
Andrew, do you want subs?
Have you got all this? You agree? All right. Quick, well, I want this done quickly.
I reset the 24.
He wanted to check with the IRS. Now the Hawks by 1. A bit of a breather for everybody here.
Yeah, it has been a great game. It's been up and down. The Hawks have looked a little bit better, but the Kings on the back of some outstanding shooting from Jason Kadee. As I said, 16 points, 4 of 4 from the 3-point line. Done a great job. Brad Newley, I think he's been great. 8 points, 3 assists. Kevin Lish, 5 rebounds, leading all rebounding, equal with AJ Ogilvy from Illawarra, but great job. There we go there. 19 seconds we should be having on the clock. You'll see it at the top there. 18 if you're a Illawarra fan.
Let's say 18 will work. And the Kings will get 4 more seconds than what they were going to get.
18 seconds here.
They're good to go. Andrew Gaze says, yep, I'm happy with that. Fast game's a good game, and we're back underway. Here's Whittington going to Kadee, getting further out. This time can't make it. Newley with a rebound and draws a foul from Tim Conrad.
Great job, Newley. Kadee, great shot. He's feeling it. Let him shoot it. But Newley, great rebound, and now he goes to the line for 2.
Kadee's first miss from outside the arc. 4 of 5 from 3-point range. And 16 points on the game. Nearly 8 points, 3 of 5 shooting. And can't make the first of 2. Real problem here with almost 4 minutes remaining in this second quarter, and the Hawks already with 5 team fouls.
Yeah, very true. And Brad Newley will get subbed out here for Craig Moller, former Fremantle Docker from the AFL. Checks in. Very athletic, very active player. Watch him crash the offensive glass. If the ball's on the floor, he'll just go get it. He's had a really good pre-season for them.
Made his NBL debut in the final game of the season last year for the Sydney Kings. Got a cup of coffee at the end of the game. All game time last week against Brisbane. Here he is in action in the first half here tonight. Kay working against him. Little look to the right, back to the left. Hook shot is good.
Well, great patience. They knew he had Craig Moller on him, just took him down low. They spent plenty of time one side to the other of the court with the ball, and then just beautifully laid it down there in great move.
Kadee want to use a screen against Powell. He'll pick up a foul anyway. It turns out from Nicholas Kay, it'll send him to the stripe as well.
Well, it was a soft foul, but these are where the other fouls early in the quarter really hurt you. You've got to show your hands so you don't get fouled. So now they're in a situation where Kadee, 16 points, feeling it. You look here, not a lot in it. Hands on there. Great job from Jason Kadee to sell it as well. And now he just goes to the free throw line. Unfortunately, misses the first to get some nice, easy baskets. Good offense.
He'd have been short odds to make both. He can't, though. And Sydney back within 1. Just over 3 remaining before half-time. Clark gets a chance to line it up from outside. It won't work. And here's Kadee. Goes to Whittington. Little shake and bake. Shot was off target. Comes away for a tip from Powell to Clark. Harris against Kadee, driving past him. Did well to take the contact from Kadee.
What a beautiful
and
move.
Still make the 2.
There was a millisecond to get through that hole, and he got there. Great job.
Moller, who played 13.5 minutes last week, goes to Whittington. Here's Kadee. Up against Kay. Mismatch there as far as speed is concerned. Kadee couldn't make the most of it. Whittington gets the rebound, banks it in for 2. And again, it's a 1-point game. Here's Harris. Driving against Liss. What a spin move that was going to be.
Well, we saw it last week. He just had the whole repertoire, whatever he wants to do. Look at this. Really, Lish had no other option there but to foul him right there. Great job for Marvell Harris.
Rob Beveridge to set up the play he wants. 1.3 seconds on the clock. It'll be a catch and shoot situation with the ball coming from the half.
Over there. All right. Let's say Patrick. Not bad, Patrick, not bad. What's your name? Flynn. Who thinks Flynn should be in the finals? Pretty good, Flynn, pretty good. What about Zane? Do I hear it for Zane? Not bad. Let's hear it for Riley. He got up there, he got up there. Let's hear it for our only female contestant, Dakota. Yeah, Dakota.
Well, it doesn't get much more dramatic for a half of basketball than what we've seen so far here tonight. The Hawks again on track for 3 figures, 100 points perhaps in the making tonight with a big three-pointer right on the buzzer. Talk about a buzzer beater from Cody Ellis to make it 50 to the Hawks, 48 to the Kings. This is a beauty.
It is. I thought Illawarra played their normal game. They've been great for the first half. Sydney Kings up and down, but they finished on the up. Kevin Lish was great. Jason Kadee was great. Really like what I was seeing, and this lived up to all the hype.
Let's take a look at some numbers from this first half right now. As we said, 50 points to 48. Marvell Harris, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. AJ Ogilvy also 10 points there. Jason Kadee has been a standout for the Kings with 17 points and 4 of 5 from three-point range.
Yeah, he kept them in the game there. They were struggling a little bit there, but then they let the shackles off. They looked like offensively they were just going to play loose. You look at the shot clock there, shooting 51%, 46 from the 3. Not so great on the free throws. You go to the other end, 45. Three-pointers, very rare for Illawarra to shoot like that at home. Look to them to miss that up, and the assists 8 all. Look, it's tight, it's great, it's a good first half.
Let's take a look at some highlights now from the first half. Rodney Clark driving to the basket. No surprise that he had done it from all angles tonight, including some rebounds as well. Harris again has been outstanding. What a pickup he's been for the Hawks.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a quiet 13 if there's such a thing. He was very good, but that's just what he does. That man right there shot the lights out. He was great in that first quarter and the second quarter, just everything. This dunk straight down the middle. They had a timeout and they spoke about that, but I was really impressed with the way Kevin Lish has led this team. He pushed his team forward and made sure they got back into this game.
Finding it hard to score, he played his role. You saw the beautiful assist there for Jason Kadee, who's had the hot hand for the Sydney Kings. Martin driving, dishing it off. AJ Ogilvy was a real presence in the paint as well. And there are the moves of Harris. He can spin, he can jump, he can Euro step. He's got all the moves, hasn't he?
Yeah, he will. Look, the winner of this game is going to come from the defensive end. Whoever gets stops, the opposition team is so good on the offensive end to push the ball down, it's really going to come from that end. They have to make sure that they get stops from on-ball screens, box out, don't give up offensive boards. This is in the making. Anyone can win it.
There was that buzzer beater as well from Cody Ellis. They checked that a number of times, but they did count it. It was 47-48 going to the break. It's 50-48 in favour of the Hawks. Let's compare Rodney Clark up against Kevin Lish. Lish was the star for the Illawarra Hawks. He's moved to the Sydney Kings. Clark has returned to the NBL to take his place. It's quite a battle.
Yeah, you look at them, they go head-to-head. We're expecting it to be great, and there it is. Exactly. You don't... Right there, nothing in it between them. Both played great. Rodney Clark, the leader, the way he shoots the ball, and Lish just does it on both ends of the court. You see how he's got the ball in his hand, crossover, hits it. He missed the first 3, and you remember, he got an easy basket from an out of bounds, and that's all it takes from a guy. Missed that first few, gets one little easy basket, and then away he goes and hits a couple of big 3s like that one on the break.
Yeah, it took him a while to get going. He was scoreless for the Sydney Kings in the first quarter, but once he found his range, like Jason Kadee, a real threat from outside. Clark, on the other hand, just worries teams to death with his speed. One of the fastest men, including Jerome handles Randall in the NBL.
Yeah, and you look at him down there too, the big man down low for a point guard. But you're right, he's just so quick, uses his body so well. It's probably weird to say this. He was an MVP when he was in the league a couple of years ago. He's now come back. I think he's a better player than he was then. The whole league's picked up such great players, and we're seeing that out here tonight. What a great game it's been.
We are going to take a break and come back with all the action live from the Sandpit in a moment. It's the Hawks in front by 3.
Now put your glasses in the sky,
but we stay high together, we made it. Yeah, I said it, we made it. 100,000, $1.
Rob, thanks for joining us. A very up and down first half. What did you say to your team?
Well, we want to play up and down, simple as that. The tempo does suit us. However, I think we're doing a pretty poor job in contesting the shots. I mean, right now, Cadiz is shooting the lights out. We must do a better job on him.
It really looks like the win's going to come from the defensive end if you can play the D. Is that what you're supposed?
Yeah, defensive transition. We score and they rip it in, bring it down the court and get an open shot. So we've got to take care of D-trans first. And if we can do that, I think we can get away with it.
Thanks, mate. Good luck for the second half.
That's right. Arena AV, the original AV supplier of the Illawarra Hawks for the audio and visual effects of tonight's game. Remember to see Arena AV for all your audio and visual needs. See you next week. Membership is still available. Save money, avoid the ticket queue, and secure your very own seat for every game of the upcoming season with the Hawks membership. Membership saves you 15% off general admission tickets, comes with a range of additional benefits, including discounts on official Hawks merchandise, priority seating for farmers, and your very own member card and app. Remember, members get it better. Make sure you grab the latest Hawks.
We are back live here at the Sandpit in Wollongong. It's the Hawks by 2 against the Kings, 50 points to 48. Let's hear from the Hawks coach. Here is Rob Beveridge with Brad Rosen.
Rob, thanks for joining us. A very up and down first half. What did you say to your team?
Well, we want to play up and down, simple as that. The tempo does suit us. However, I think we're doing a pretty poor job in contesting the shots. I mean, right now, Cadiz is shooting the lights out. We must do a better job on him.
It really looks like the win's going to come from the defensive end if you can play the D. Is that what you're supposed?
Yeah, defensive transition. We score and they rip it in, bring it down the court and get an open shot. So we've got to take care of D-trans first. And if we can do that, I think we can get away with it.
Thanks, mate. Good luck for the second half.
Calm and cool as ever. There's Rob Beveridge, Andrew Gaze. Last chance to take a moment to talk to his team before they head back out here. In this second half, crash the boards. You heard him say that. Well, that just has to happen because, again, they've been out-rebounded. Did a better job in that second quarter after being outpaced on the boards in the first quarter, but they just need to go early with Illawarra here because you just know what offensive firepower Illawarra can bring off the back of half-time.
Well, you look at last week's game, Illawarra and Adelaide was very close at half-time, and then they came out in that second half and really blew it away. Interesting thing there from Andrew Gaze saying crash the glass. He's also meaning on the offensive end. The more people you can have, if you can get 2 of your big men on the glass, it actually slows them down as well. Because if you just shoot the ball early and they can get the ball off the rim and run, that's going to be tough for Sydney to stop that. So if you can play offense, get a shot, crash the glass so it slows them down, really helps your D-trans.
See if they can affect that in this third quarter. 10 minutes on the clock. And we're underway. Martin it is. Get down court for the Hawks. Tries to drive around Jason Kadee. Clark. Cornered there. Foreman gives it off. Lish comes up with a loose ball. And the Kings get an immediate stop and a chance to perhaps at least tie it up here. Marriage. Bounce pass. Thought Newley was cutting to the basket. Newley wasn't going anywhere.
Unlucky Lish on the floor. They asked him at halftime how his body is. He just looked at me. I'm fine. He moves on. That's what he does. Dives on the floor. He's such a competitor.
Reece Martin stopped there by Kadee. And it's going to be a foul against
Yeah, it looks
Sydney
like
Kings
that was
guard.
Jason Kadee. It looked like he had his left arm just around the back there of Reece Martin, so good call.
Brett. Fouls were an issue for the Hawks in the second quarter. The Sydney Kings were able to stay close and in fact had the lead several times during it, courtesy of going to the stripe. See what happens here in this third quarter. Ogilvy, Foreman, Martin, Clark and Harris on the floor for the Hawks. The Kings, Lish, Whittington, Marriage, Newley and Kadee. Here's Newley. Low post, backing in against Harris. He gets it. Well, locked
good,
up.
Yeah, good offense was. He's got some size there as Rodney Clark tries to lay it up there, and off the Kings go.
Can't get it to work on the reverse. Whittington coming down quickly up against what looked to be a stationary Oscar Foreman. The Hawks bring it down court. Nearly a little bump there on Harris. He knows what a threat he is.
Well, that's poor offense from Whittington. He tried to make contact and let the ref bail him out there. Good no call, and that just allowed Harris to go down the other end and do what he wanted to.
Readjustment once again. The shot clock here. It'll be
trigger happy, these shot clock down here.
24 seconds up there. 16, in fact, for the home side as Martin working around the arc. Harris cutting through the paint, shadowed by Newley. Martin still looking for somebody. He found Alex Marriage. That wasn't the plan as Lish goes to Whittington. A chance from outside. Way short on the shot. Marriage does well against Ogilvy, who recovers to rip it out and give away a foul in the process.
Well, good find by Lish to get Whittington the ball, and a great job by Marrick to get the offensive rebound there, and that's another foul of AJ Ogilvy.
See it again as Marriage went to work against Ogilvy.
He's got a decision to make because Whittington's really not doing enough out there. Marriage has just gone off the court, mind you, because he's got a blood rule, so in will come Josh Powell. That's why we've seen a replacement. But Whittington, they need to get something out of him. He's missed an easy layup or a poor decision. Wide open three. How long does he stay with him?
Lish in a real battle there on the inbounds pass against Reece Martin. This is a screen well from Powell, and now nearly inside to Powell, but he wasn't expecting it. He saw it late and went up, didn't get there in time. Newley was thinking alley-oop. Powell,
yeah, he was.
He wasn't ready.
No, he just wasn't ready. Good option, just poor execution.
Well, a low-scoring beginning to this third quarter. A rebound and a punch out there by Ogilvy. Keeps the Illawarra's possession. Here's Foreman up against Newley. Good wheels right there. Just beating for speed.
You don't blame Newley on that one. He had to close out hard because that's Oscar Foreman. That's just awful off-ball defense. You have to be on the split line so he can't get that layup.
Here's Newley weaving in traffic up against Ogilvy. A second foul in quick time against AJ Ogilvy.
2 shots, here we go.
Third foul.
That's his
fourth foul for the game, and he'll leave. You can see there just reaching out and catching that left hand of Brad Newley. That is a huge blow Ogilvy picking up 2 fouls in the opening 2.5 minutes of this third quarter.
Well, this was one of the things that Rob Beveridge spoke about in the off-season. He needed to have more backup for an AJ if something like this happens. That's why he went hard after Nicholas Kay, and he's brought in Holyfield as well. So we'll see if they can pick up the slack, because we probably won't see him again this quarter.
So it's a small lineup they have out there at the moment. Foreman, Kay, and Harris. With Martin and Clark working out of the backcourt. Powell did well, no whistle as Martin went to the floor. Here's Whittington. This time he'll hold it up after having a rush of blood last time down there in that situation. Lish against Clark. Goes to Whittington. Newley was free. Harris did well, but now Powell under the basket. The layup for 2 points. And Sydney stay tight. They take the lead at 54-52. Nice cut by Martin. Misses a pretty simple layup by his standards. Here's Newley. They'll slow things down. Put up Sydney's offense once again and give it off to Kadee. Whittington, size mismatch there against Martin. Foreman comes over to help. Lish. He's back to the basket, gets front on now. 3 seconds on the shot clock from downtown. Won't go, but they get the rebound. 14 more seconds for Sydney. Kadee looking to dish it to Powell.
Well, they both did the right thing. Kadee thought he was going to stay on the wing, but Powell, knowing he's a big man, he was going straight to the basket. I thought right there Newley was wide open in the corner, but that was good offense from Sydney there just to get the ball back and set up. Let's see what Illawarra can do in this possession down.
Harris goes against Newley, draws the contact. Brad Newley picking up the 3rd foul. His game, 5.5, or just under 6 minutes remaining, in fact, in this third quarter. And Harris did well after slipping in the paint there. That picks up the foul and a chance to make it level once again.
Drops the first one down. That's his 14 point. 3 and 3 from the field free throw line, and that's going with his 9 and 9 last week. He really likes it down there.
He makes both. It's 54 each. 15 for Harris, 10 for Ogilvy and Clark. Kadee, no change to his tally at half-time. Nearly 13. And Lish with 10 points for the game. Here he is from outside. Make it 13 for the game for Kevin Lish.
Well, I like the change-up. They just put Jason Kadee in the 1 and Lish in the 2 as a fouls there.
That's a big foul against Brad Newley. Both teams now with key men in trouble. Newley thought he got there in time. The referees disagreed, but it's personal foul number 4 for Newley. You be the referee. Looked like he had position. Saw the drive there from Harris. It looked like Newley got there in time. Ogilvy with 4. Newley also with 4 fouls. That'll hurt the Kings with the threat that Newley has been driving to the hoop throughout this game. They lead by 3 at the moment, but Harris at the stripe and still to miss in his NBL career from the line.
What you're going to put him off there was?
It was every chance, wasn't it? The commentator's curse.
White for it, guys. White for it.
He's good. Makes them both again. And it's a 1-point game. Sydney with their noses in front. Kadee goes to Tom Garland. Not seeing as many minutes early in this season as he was last year as a team captain. Whittington on following up almost with the rebound and jam in the one motion. Clark. He'll give it to Kay. From outside, it was in, it was out.
Wow, that did everything but drop it in.
Like a Brad Rosen putt, just refusing to drop. Kadee. Set it up here for the Kings. Going towards Foreman, double team for a moment there. Garlip finds Powell as the free man under the basket. And again, the two-time NBA champion banks 2 points for the Kings.
Well, again, another good offense there with Jason Kadee in the one. They forced the double on the on-ball screen as Rodney Clark shoots a three.
Follow-up from Kay won't go. Sydney come away with a chance to give them their biggest lead of the game. Whittington! Spectacular alley-oop, and now Harris from the corner. They just won't go for the Hawks. Sydney by 5. Here is Whittington. What a play that was.
Great work by Kevin Lish. He just knew exactly what Whittington was going to do. Pushed the ball up, waited for him to get there. Look at this. Just throws it upstairs. No one's going up with him and puts it through. Not the greatest of landing, but good finish there in the end. Great pass by Lish.
Didn't come down on all wheels, but boy, it was effective. And the only area that mattered now, a turnover. Kings have it through Whittington. What a quarter so far for the Kings. Powell coming into his own, turns and makes it. And he is dominating suddenly for Sydney with Ogilvy off the floor.
Yeah, good call was just dominating, just getting it down low, making the right decision.
Here's Harris. No dice there as he drove amongst the timber. It was a forest of yellow jumpers in the paint. Harris still on the floor at the other end of the court. Here is Whittington. Gives it to Garlip. All alone. 5 on 4. A big chance missed by Sydney there. Now there's a whistle.
I know Tommy Garlip can hit that three, and Kevin Lish, of course, the nicest man in the NBL, just making sure he's okay. But Tommy Garlip, I know that's a good shot, and he can drop that down, but at 4 on 3, you want to take that straight to the basket.
He has not moved from the spot that he ended up driving. Watch it again. Whittington was there, so was Garlip. Coming over from the weak side, Lish got there. And perhaps he came down awkwardly and might have twisted an ankle or a knee, perhaps. Because he's been in some sort of discomfort. Didn't seem to be a lot of contact, or maybe did he slap his head on the floor and rattled himself.
I got to be honest, I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, did maybe just hit his head there. You're right, on that floor. He doesn't look to be clutching at anything on the body, like you're saying, knee or ankle, nothing like that. He may have just taken that hit on the head. There is a bit of a lip there on that. Yeah, he's now clutching to his right knee.
That may be the problem. There's a noticeable limp as he goes back to the bench. They've already lost Mitch Norton for the night very early as well, when he was driving to the basket, strained a hamstring, out for the game. And now a very unconvincing walk back to the bench for Marvell Harris. And with Ogilvy in foul trouble, Norton out of the game, and Harris going straight to the locker room.
Yeah,
the Hawks are battered and bruised.
Never a good sign, and they are missing Mitch Norton. The way he dribbles the ball, his penetration, his defense on Kevin Lish as well. He is a big loss, and now you take up Marvell Harris. How can they respond?
So the Kings outscoring the Hawks 15-6 since half-time, as Ellis from outside, who made the big three, beat the buzzer at half-time. He can't get it to work. Garlip! Another simple miss for the Kings from close range. They've had some of those in this game, and they might come back to haunt them against this depleted Illawarra lineup as they are.
Well, it's just reversed here, Illawarra's defense now just looks completely in chatters. They're trying to get on balls. Rodney Clark just drops his shoulder and go there. And it's really reversed from the first half, where that's what the Sydney Kings were doing. Now the Kings are getting stops, boxing out, loving Powell down low, getting the ball and running and getting wide open looks. They got a layup there, but of course Tommy Garlip unfortunately missed it, but coming from their D.
Clark at the free throw line. 6-point game. And the Hawks in red territory. At home, behind in the second half of the game. Michael Bryson hasn't seen much court time so far tonight. His Powell and all three imports of the Kings on court for the first time this season. And Powell is starting to show why he was a champion with the Los Angeles Lakers. Has found his rhythm here for Sydney. Ellis stripped by Lesh, coming back to haunt the Hawks. Behind the back, goes past Clark. Holds off Kevin White, who is so tough defensively. He did well there as Powell sets a screen for Lesh. He stops and pops, can't get it to go. Whittington follows it in though. Everything happening for the Kings.
Well, it was good offense, good screen by Powell, nice shot by Lesh. Well, he's just all over Kevin White, and this is where they miss a Mitch Norton. Kevin White, not a good point guard, bringing up the ball like a Mitch Norton. Rodney Clark sits out, and Marvell Harris comes back in, so he's obviously fine.
What a recovery. He limped off like he was going for an MRI scan just barely seconds ago. Magic sponge in the locker room, straight back out there.
Well, interesting sub here. Dion Brewster's coming into the court game. Hasn't played any minutes this year so far. Mind you, it was only one game, but he is not actually, he's a development player for the Kings, so Andrew Gay seeing something that he wants out there.
Saw plenty of court time last year for the Kings. Dion Brewster as Harris driving, dishing, and Holyfield dunking.
Well, that's what they needed. Marvell Harris with the ball. He makes the right decision, gets it to his big man.
67-60. A big lead by King standards for the visitors right here. Kadee going back to Gallup. Thought about three, stepped inside the line. Bryson was there. He can really get up, and Powell draws a foul from Holyfield.
Well, good work by Bryson, like you said, but then Powell just in the right space, and what an impact he's made. He has 10 points on 5 of 5 shooting, 4 rebounds, and an assist and a block to go with that as well.
He has shown his basketball pedigree in this third quarter of his first game in the NBL. Playing in Australia here now. This is his 4th country that he's played in this year. He has racked up some frequent flyer miles, playing in China most recently. And when that contract came to an end,
you can't buy experience.
He was at a loose end.
Yeah, you can't buy experience, and that's what he's seeing out here.
And what a pickup he looks to be for the Sydney Kings. 6'9", and the old money, if you like, as Ellis got his eye in from outside tonight. Picks up a 2-pointer there, 69-62 with less than a minute remaining in this third quarter. Jeremy Hill will check back in for Sydney.
Just keep an eye out here for Kevin White and Powell. They've just been bumping each other and giving a few little elbows, so let's see if that keeps going, because Kevin White will not back down.
Giving away some size in that confrontation, Kevin White. Kadee goes to Hill. New man on the court. Goes to Brewster over the top of the swat from Holyfield. An immediate impact for the development player. Sydney in control. 30 seconds remaining before three-quarter time, and Brewster gives up a hand foul.
That's called time of possession. You just got to know what it is. 29 seconds to go. The Kings are in foul, 5 fouls, and now you're just sending to the line, which will do 2 things. One, give them 2 free throws, but also give Illawarra the last shot of the game. Of the quarter, I'm sorry.
2. The Hawks rather found a way to finish the second quarter with an exclamation mark courtesy of Cody Ellis. They'd like something similar right here, just to narrow this gap. Heading into the final 10 minutes. And Conrad can't make the second. Stays a 9-point lead for Sydney. 4-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And Kadee, well, getting a blocking foul from Powell on Kevin White, and they go nose to nose.
I saw it a couple of plays ago, and I mentioned it.
That's not a good screen, hey.
Kevin Lish and Powell, they just had a little bit of a two at each other, and here they go again.
A moving screen there from Josh Powell.
Yeah, definitely a moving screen. You can't move to your right there.
My name's Kevin. Welcome to Australia.
He's got that stare. Oh, one of my former teammates, Bruce Bolden, would love that one. Doesn't say anything, just stares right at him.
Couldn't Bruce produce a stare? The death stare. No chance for the Hawks, 5 seconds. White off balance from outside. Powell over the top of Holyfield with 0.2 of a second on the clock. It'll be Hawks ball again. This is the second quarter all over again. Catch and shoot once more. White with the inbound. Harris, he was the intended target, but Brewster read it well and stopped the ball from getting to him. And going into the final quarter here in Wollongong, it'll be the Kings with a 9-point lead over the Illawarra Hawks. It's Thursday night basketball, live on Fox Sports.
Oh, he's a bit rocky, Kel. I think you've got him. I think you've got him. Oh, Sammy shoots an air ball. Kelly's knocked another one down. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. We're going from halfway. That's all she wrote. All right, what do we get down there, guys? Heidi. I don't know. Kelly, come up here. Who reckons Kelly should shoot anyway? No pressure. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Kel, no pressure. I know this is a husband-wife thing. Would you like him to shoot? Or I'm happy for you to shoot, Kel. All right, let's get behind Kel. Kel's going to shoot it up. Kel, you're going to go this way. She can kick it if you want to, or underarm it. All right, for $1,000, courtesy of our friends from Macca's Illawarra. Are you ready? Get behind Kelly for $1,000. Come on, Kel. Come on. It's pretty good. Put your hands together for Kel. We're going to the screen for a few reads. Big round of applause for these two, hopefully going home together in the same car.
I love food. I love music. I like beats and names. Beats and deeds and TV. Beats and deeds television. Beats and deeds combo. Beats and deeds. Beats and deeds. Nobody's seen that. Beats and deeds. Music and food. Two of my nucleus things. Two colorful hobby. Every week. Wednesday cake. Beats and deeds.
It's one of the great arch rivalries of the NBL, and at the moment it's big brother, I guess, over little brother. Sydney 71-62. So the Kings haven't been big brother as far as results are concerned over the Hawks for a long, long time. Illawarra have dominated this confrontation in recent years, but they've got a job on their hands. Try and keep that streak alive against Sydney. A trail 71-62 as the final quarter gets underway. Kadee from outside can't quite get it to go, and the Hawks need to get plenty of stops after being outscored 23-12 in that third quarter. Harris picks up a quick foul immediately here.
Well, it was a great quarter there by Sydney. They just really upped the ante on the defensive end and really pushed Illawarra out of what they wanted to do. And that just allowed Sydney to run and do what they wanted to do. And Powell was fantastic in that quarter.
Here's Holyfield. Ogilvy still off the court, and Harris getting cleaned up by Michael Bryce and Andrew Gaze. He won't be able to believe it. He can give up 2 fouls as cheaply as that in the first 30 seconds of the last quarter.
Yeah, and that's not going to be a problem with him with the fouls, but it is with the team, like you said, was. Now you've got to be careful. You don't want to be, 8 minutes, 7 minutes to go, and they're shooting free throws in the fourth quarter.
Reece Martin from outside. An early three-pointer would have been handy for the Hawks. They've gone stone cold from the floor with their shooting as Kadee works against Holyfield. Found Powell, and that might be a combination we are talking a lot about this season. Kadee with a beautiful pass for Powell. It was pretty to watch as the Hawks at the other end now trail by 11. Harris can't make it. They'll get 14 more seconds here. Martin up against Kadee. Powell coming across to help out. Bryson up above Michael Holyfield. He can really leap Michael Bryson. Here he is, driving from coast to coast, but giving away a charge.
So the referee say that he was outside. That's the only real question it has, was his feet outside, and here it is. Oh, look at that right foot. Looked like it was a little bit on the line there. But still, good defense. And to be honest, right call, because he was out of control, and that's what needs to be done.
Holyfield will leave the game, and Rob Beveridge has injected Ogilvy back into it.
Well, he has to. Yeah, he has to. Was with Tau dominating like he is, he needs to get a body on him.
Harris pulling up from outside, was fouled. Bryson picks up another foul, and it'll send the perfect Harris from the stripe back there again.
3 shots, here we go!
6 from 6 tonight, picking up 21 points in the season opener last week against Adelaide.
3.
See Bryson there. Can't believe he's given up 2 fouls as quickly as that. This one giving away 3 free throws.
Yeah, and look, especially the Hawks are shooting 2 of 17 from the three-point line as well, and you give away 3 free throws like this. And Andrew Gaze is going to sub him out after that as well.
One and a sub.
He looks fit to sub himself in.
Waiting.
He might say, give me a singlet, I'm out there.
He'd love to.
We're talking to Kevin Lish in the pre-season as Harris knocks down all 3. He is 9 from 9 from the stripe. It's an 8-point game. Kevin Lish said that man, Andrew Gaze, on screen then. He said he's still the best shooter on the floor at training. There's no question about it.
And you can just imagine him there too. He wouldn't want anyone beating him.
Here's Hill for Sydney. Powell up against Ogilvy. Screen from Powell. He knocked down Ellis. Hill didn't make the most of the free shot he basically had from outside. Here's Harris again. Gives it off to Ogilvy. Ellis to the corner. Conrad driving towards the basket. Bounce pass there for Martin. Couldn't work it against the tall timber. Comes outside to Ellis. What a game he's having from long range.
Yeah, and again, good find from Marvell Harris. Not a lot happening. He penetrated and got the ball to the wing. But the play before, that was pretty awful offense by the Kings. They need to get it back into this man's hand. He makes good things happen.
What was an 11-point lead has shrunk very quickly to 5. Ellis is there again. One-handed rebound. Harris now. Faked the 3, drove, picked up a foul on his way there. Andrew Gaze is absolutely beside himself, and not for the first time in this game.
Well, he's right. That's 14 fouls. We spoke about it 2 minutes ago. There is now 7 minutes 16 left, and they have now going to shoot free throws on every foul that the Kings make. Good offense by Illawarra to cause that to happen.
As the coaches go to work, let's hear from one talking about the other. Rob Beveridge speaking about Andrew Gaze.
He's an icon. You know, when people talk about Australia's greatest player, he's always in the conversation, you know, if not the top of the conversation. And I think the great thing about Andrew is everybody loves Andrew. You know, he great with the media, great with people, and I think having him as one of the faces of the league is great for the league.
All right. So, actually,
well, there is no question about that, and here he is. Suddenly,
get it
after
through.
Being pretty relaxed, you'd imagine, at three-quarter time, now feverishly working with his team, wondering what's happened as they've given away 5 team fouls in less than 3 minutes of game time.
Don't ignore it if it's wide open. Look for it. Hey, we're all right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Not that Andrew's been a part of it, but the Sydney Kings have made a habit in recent seasons of coughing up leads. And if Ogilvy can stay foul-free from this point on, and the Hawks' record on this court, you just never know.
Marvell Harris, 21st point. Again, 9 of 9. Make that 10 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. 5 rebounds. Rodney Clark with the 12 points. AJ's got 10, and for the Kings, Cadiz still with 17. Brad Newley and Lish 14, with Josh Powell at 14 points.
So Harris misses for the first time this season from the stripe. Head of 11 here tonight. And the Kings by 4. Whittington up against Harris, gives it to Lish. Tough job there to make that go against Ogilvy. Couldn't get it to fit, and here is Ogilvy giving it off to Harris. After the Kings dominated the third quarter, it's the Hawks well on top here in the fourth quarter, still trailing by 4, and some of the locals beside themselves. There was no whistle there for a foul. Lish working against Harris, staying with him. In fact, it was Jason Kadee driving to the basket. He got fouled as he went there, pick up a foul, and will go to the stripe.
Well, good take by Jason Kadee there. There was a little bit of dribbling at the top, but he saw a gap and took it. Just used his body really well and got to the free throw line. And hopefully that'll ignite him going. As I said, he's got 17 points, 4 of 6 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds and 4 assists.
Kings needed something, anything, just to stop the flow. And Kadee, for the first time tonight, can't make both of them. 5-point lead again. Here's Clark just blowing straight past him. How many times have we seen that this evening? Clark with 14 points for the game, 5 of 10 from the floor. Newley for Lish, up against Harris, drew the foul. Harris didn't think he'd fouled. The referees disagreed.
Here we go. To the free throw line, Sydney Kings, Kevin Lish. 2.
Well, the old... He got so many cheers last year, they are giving it to him down here. That was Marvell Harris's 4th team foul. And Lish now converts for his 15th point of the game.
Ogilvy and Harris now both on 4 personal fouls. Martin kicking it back out to Ogilvy. Ellis, another chance to line up from 3-point range. Martin, little fake on Lish, then goes past Marriage. It was going to be special. Had it gone, it'll stay a Hawks ball. New shot clock, the ball touched the rim on the shot as Martin drove to the hoop.
Beautiful move there. Up and under, good defense and Marriage, but well done for AJ to crash the glass.
Here's Martin again against Lish once more. A Little push off. The crowd don't like it, but a good call by the referee. Lish working hard there to stay in the face of Martin. Well, he used his hand to fend him off.
Yeah, he is a great defensive player, obviously, last year as well. Best defensive player in this team by far, and he just beautifully, look at that, showing the hands, that's good D, and then lets the ref know that he hit him.
Remembering a renewed emphasis on flopping this year, and technical fouls awarded against players if they're judged to have flopped, trying to draw a foul. I guess the locals there thought Lish might have been guilty of it. Marriage looking for the stuff. Jammed it off the glass, and now there's going to be some hooting and hollering. It looked like it was going to be a Hawks ball. The referee say Kings instead.
Yeah, it was called a Kings ball, but Brett Hogan correctly has come from the opposite side of the court and mentioned that it was off the King's hand. So no harm done.
Watch Marriage again, trying to sling it into the basket. Right into your living room, and then as they worked it away, Clark, little tip there from Newley, and correctly overturned by the trio of officials. Newley working around the back of Powell, gives it to Lish. From way outside, Lish short with his shot. That reach of Whittington coming into play as he keeps it in Sydney's hands. Lish behind the back against Form and still found a way past him.
Oh, that is just beautiful. Rob Beveridge calls a timeout there because he's seen his man, Kevin Lish. He brought him here to Australia. Just destroyed the defence there in a beautiful crossover move.
Well, he was scoreless for the first quarter, Kevin Lish. He now has 20 points for the game, and Sydney's lead is 5. Don't forget, a lot more action coming your way this weekend. Adelaide and Melbourne in action. One of 2 games tomorrow night after Adelaide got the better of Melbourne United last Sunday. Melbourne out for revenge in that one.
Absolutely, that man was amazing, Jerome Randall, and what a game that was at the Perth Arena last week as well. Perth winning in overtime from a massive 3 to take it into overtime. And New Zealand doing what they do best, getting wins.
We'll see Perth against the Breakers. Abercrombie and company will be in the Golden West to take on the reigning champs. That's the action tomorrow night, a double-header. Adelaide versus Melbourne, and then Perth versus New Zealand. Here in Wollongong, 2:46 remaining. Sydney 81, Illawarra 76, and Sydney looking for a rare, an extremely rare road win.
Well, look, 8 teams here, we've said it this season, could win it. 8 teams could also, any one of them could come last because it's that close. And you have to take care of your home court advantage. Of course, Sydney losing to Brisbane, so they need to steal one on the road. Wollongong trying to take care of their home court advantage and go 2-0.
Some hands around the perimeter for the Hawks as Harris gets the screen from Ogilvie up against Powell. Finds Foreman. Whittington coming out, did well not to foul. Came off Lish's hands. Illawarra get 14 seconds on the shot clock to go to work again. Here's Clark pulling up. Long-range attempt over the back of the backboard, and Sydney will get it. Just over 2 minutes remaining, and the lead remains 5. We'll see how composed they are down the stretch. Wasn't much composure last season for Sydney, but what a different lineup it is. And here is Whittington, athletic, driving, but can't get it to go. Big miss right there, and they have missed some layups and some shots from close range tonight. Banking one is Ogilvie. He makes it a 3-point ball game.
Well, this really hurt the Kings last Saturday as well. They missed some easy baskets in the last couple of minutes, and it just gives team that lift. AJ Ogilvie gets that jumper.
Lish holding it up, trying to use up some time on the clock. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Newley aware of that again. Sydney miss a layup, and to compound the error, Newley gives away his 5th foul, and the Hawks will go to the line at the other end of the court.
Well, it's like a mirror image of Saturday. 2 easy layups, 4 points, easy baskets, and you see Newley, he's upset with himself as well there. Hits the ground, know that he misses the layup, and fouls and sees himself out of the game. And a 3-point lead could have easily been a 7-point lead if you turn it around and knock the jump shot there from AJ as well.
Well, they're going to say the foul.
It's on Newley.
They're going to say the foul is on Josh Powell. It's important because either one of them, whoever picks it up, is going out of the game.
Can you check?
Well, it was Brad Newley who reached in short.
Question.
25, we can't check that. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, this is a massive call, like you said. Leonard's there asking to check it, but you're not allowed. You'll see it here. Newley misses the layup. I think it's Oscar Foreman who gets the ball. Right, so they've called the foul over the top there on Powell.
So they're saying contact from Powell on Foreman before Newley reached in and grabbed the arm of Foreman. Powell in his first NBL game sits with 5 fouls, 14 points on 6 of 6 shooting from the floor. 2 from 2 free throws. And Foreman makes it a 2-point game. He can make that one. It was an important call. Powell is out of the game. How pivotal will that be for both he, Andrew Gaze, and the Sydney Kings? 1:20 remaining. It's 81-80.
Well, this is exactly the game that we hoped for. It's given us everything. There's been some outstanding offense from both sides. Marvell Harris with 23 points, Rodney Clark with 16. AJ Ogilvie hasn't played a lot of minutes, and you look at the shot chart there. Illawarra 80 points, 3 of 21 from the three-point line. That's just unheard of for Illawarra in their home venue. And still only down by 1. Free throws, 23 of 32 field goals there, obviously low with a three-point shooting percentage, but it's been an unbelievable game, and this minute and a half, and that man there, he's been great. Some good times ahead with him. And you look at the Sydney chart here as well. 8 threes. But majority of their work has come from inside. Jason Kadee was unbelievable in the first half. You also look at Kevin Lish. He's had a great game, 4 of 8 from the threes. 4 of 6 for Jason Kadee going back to that. Been a wow of a game, but a couple of easy baskets there for the Sydney Kings. 2 layups will really come back to haunt them. And can they put that behind them and get this win, or is Illawarra going to tighten their defence and go?
Can that man, Brad Newley, who will inbound the ball for Sydney, make amends for that easy miss, which might mean quite a bit. Marriage is back on court for Powell, and it is noisy suddenly here at the Sandpit. Lish working against Ogilvie. 10 seconds on the shot clock. No push-off from Kevin Lish. Kadee, 3 seconds, over the top. Kadee with a big basket, but the locals cannot believe the non-call on Kevin Lish.
Yeah, look, I have no problem with that. They'll say because I'm a CDX player, but no, there was not enough contact for that. That was a flop. Good call from the referee. Let the players play. Great move by Jason Kadee.
83-80. Inside the final 60 seconds. Sydney in the penalty as Ogilvie gives it to Martin. Thought about launching one from long range. Goes to Harris, steps inside. Martin all alone! The Hawks threatening to snatch one at the death against their arch enemy. Here is Lish. He's enemy number 1 at the moment. Floating over the top. Can't make it. Marriage with the rebound. Found by Ogilvie. That will be all for AJ. Marriage will go to the line with exactly 14 seconds remaining in the game. Nicholas Kay will check back in for Rob Beveridge and the Hawks. 2 massive free throws coming up here for Alex Marriage. Hasn't scored so far in the game. Is 0 from 4 from the field. At the line for the first time. Makes a big one.
Didn't even hit the rim.
And Leonard Copeland's reaction tells you a lot about how badly Sydney wanted that. Marriage makes both. It's a 2-point lead.
Look at
now the
coach
is smiling.
He just rides every play, Andrew. You just love it. But now it's over to one of the best coaches in the league. He's got a timeout now. Rob Beveridge. What does he run? He's got Rodney Clark, Marvell Harris, Oscar Foreman. A fantastic spot-up shooter. Do you go and on ball? What way do you go? For that team right there, it's all about what do you do on the on ball. And make sure you do not give up an offensive glass. You have to box out.
Well, you heard the praise that Rob Beveridge gave to Andrew Gaze in his playing career. Here he is, coaching against him for the first time. Sydney's next 4 games, the Taipans at home. On Saturday night, they're at home again against the Hawks in round 3. Then it's the Bullets and the Taipans again, that time on the road in Cairns. Their next 4 games, the Hawks. Here's how they line up over the next 4 games. A couple against Perth, and boy, didn't they have some battle against Perth last season.
Well, the important thing they want to do here is they want to get the shot off as quickly as they can, but a good shot. If a three's open, you take it. If the layup's open, you take it, because then it gives you a chance for the offensive glass. Let's see what they run.
Here's Kate. 9 seconds on the clock. Harris with a 2-point attempt. Couldn't make it. The quick foul on Newley will stop the clock with 5.9 seconds remaining.
Well, you see here, Bryson just showing himself. Like the defense, not enough contact there. Like the offense, they got what they wanted. They got him the ball. He's been great all night, but he missed the shot. But Newley, well, he can put this to bed if he ices these 2. Well, it gives him a chance. Didn't shoot a free throw last week. That's his... Needs to drop this one down, so the worst case scenario for the Kings is overtime. No timeout from Rob Beveridge, so this man with the ball.
So a foul against Rodney Clark. Jason Kadee giving one away. Barely a second going by on the clock. It stays a 3-point game.
Well, you just saw it there. Make 2 and then face guard. That's what he's saying there.
2 shots, let's go.
So you just want to drop these. There's still plenty of time left, 5 seconds. If he drops both of these, try and get a steal. If not, you then foul again and we go it all again.
2.
Clark misses the first of 2.
One shot.
Would you potentially miss the second on purpose here and try and get a rebound and kick it out?
I just think with the size of the Kings and boxing out, no, because if you miss this and they get it, then game's over with 1 of the 2. You drop this down, you foul straight away, hope the same thing happens, that they miss one.
So it's a 2-point game, and that first free throw miss could be huge for Rodney Clark and the Illawarra Hawks.
Well, right now, the Kings' main objective, get the ball in, get it in a good free throw shooter's hand. So you want to go to Lish, and if he's not there, you've got Kadee. They're the 2 you want to go to. They then make 2 free throws, game's over, but for Illawarra, they want to get a steal, obviously. That's what they go for. If they can't get the steal, well, then they've got to foul quickly, hope that they miss 1 of the 2, and then come down the end. Or if they miss both, have a chance to win it or tie it up. Don't think they don't practice these scenarios all the time at training. 5 seconds to go, 2 down. 5 seconds to go, 2 up. This is what we do. This is something that they have spoken about many times before.
There was plenty of hype in the lead up to this game. given it was Sydney versus Illawarra, well, it has lived up to the advanced billing without question here tonight.
There's one man you want to get the ball to. Good free throw shooter. Get him the ball. Get Lish the ball.
Interesting, it's going to be Whittington with the inbounds pass. He certainly has plenty of reach.
Yeah, the length, that's what you want on there. Good option, and Oscar Foreman being length as well.
They split. Here is Lish, comes up with the ball, gives it to Brett Newley. This time he makes it. Redemption for Newley and the Sydney Kings. What a play to ice this one. And the coaches are all smiles, especially Andrew Gaze, who has his first win as a coach in the NBL after everything he did in this league as a player. And no surprise that the returning villain this time, Kevin Lish, the former Hawk, now a King, is the Ladbrokes player of the game. A huge win for Sydney. They're on the board in 2016, 2017, 88-84 over the Hawks here tonight.
Remember, we're back here October 28th, 30th, the Hawks double weekend. Friday night, the defending champions Perth Wildcats here. Sunday evening showdown with Kansas bands. Doubleheader weekend, the 28th and the 30th. Make sure you're here for that one. Big games of the weekend. Thanks for coming out. Thursday night.
Meeting exhibitional function, Wing Entertainment Centre, a unique conference and meeting venue with multiple function and exhibition spaces with superb catering providing restaurant quality food in a venue, state-of-the-art audio-visual and technical facilities in a city centre location on the beach in the city with a variety of accommodation and hotels close by. Holding your conference at the Wing Entertainment Centre can be a dream come true. So whether your event is for 12 or 2,000 people, contact us to bring your meeting to life.
John Paul Young presents the Banger and Young Songbook, a tribute to two of the most extraordinary songwriters of our time, featuring the biggest hits for the Easy Beats, AC/DC, Stevie Wright, JDY's own chart toppers, and so many more. Live in concert with the All-Star Band, Saturday, November 19th, Win Entertainment Centre, Wollongong. These are the songs that kept us straight for its unique sound through the 60s, 70s and 80s. John Paul Young's The Banger and Young Songbook.
I love food. I love music. I like bits of it. Beats and beats, TV, beats and beats, television, beats and beats, combo, beats and beats, beats and beats. Nobody's seen that. Beats and beats. Really? Do you want to have these things? Super colorful and awesome. I'm saying beats and beats.
Sydney have produced only their second win in their last 14 road games, and what a desperate tussle it was at the end as the Hawks closed the gap. Andrew Gaze and his old Tigers teammate, Leonard Copeland, punching the air. They're on the board in this new NBL season, but they had to hang tough at the end as the Hawks threatened and closed the gap and almost snatched it away.
Yeah, those two were great. Kevin Lish, Jason Kadee were unbelievable for them. Marvell Harris again was solid. I thought they really missed Mitch Norton, and when AJ Elgeby went off with those fouls in the third quarter, that really hurt him.
Doubleheader tomorrow night, the first of them. A massive clash between the Adelaide 36ers and Melbourne United. Adelaide got the better of that showdown in round one. We'll see how it turns out tomorrow night in Adelaide. Thanks for joining us here in Wollongong. On behalf of Brad Rosen and all the crew, I'm Warren Smith. It's been sensational. The Kings are on the board.